Hello again, I'm back. Um, I have no idea where to start with this one. Okay, so what it's about is an intensification of the energy. And it's been building for a while. I first saw it come in when myself, a couple of my peers that I work with, and also a couple of my clients, all within a 3-day period. This is about, I can't remember. Time's all over the place, but let's say it was a month ago. All seemed to come unplugged and go way out into something else, and then go through a variety of issues around getting back, coming back, how to get back, feeling untethered, discombobulated, not knowing where they are. And that all happened in a week. And so I had a chat with my lot, and what I'd done is I had consciously untethered myself from this to go out and make connection with something else, which is also in here. I'm choosing my words really carefully because I can see the complexity of it, and there's no way I can speak it through just yet. Okay, so that's been building, and what I've noticed is the people who are consciously on their path and dancing and playing with spirit and experimenting with different technologies have been going through this intensification of what is this new energy. And last week, it seems to have really begun to peak. I don't know what will happen from here, but I'm speaking into the peak because this morning, one of the messages I heard in dispatches is that there's going to be an intensification this week. Now we're all on different points on our path, and so some might have started doing this a month ago, some might whatever. There's no hierarchy here. We're doing exactly what we've come here to do, and you're exactly where you need to be. The way it's manifesting through my witnessing is it's like a decompartmentalization of what I previously knew. It's like a dissolving of previously perceived boundaries between physical and non-physical reality. It is an incredibly big picture that's coming in, and I use those two words very carefully. It is coming in. Now you may notice I'm being quite sketchy with what I'm sharing because I don't share everything. So I tend to kind of screen and censor how much of me I want to share with the world, and that's a process that I'm going through. So this surge of energy that's here or coming in for some is going to do many things. It's going to give you access to more. I'm cautious around using the words everything, but it's going to give you access to more. So more of your interdimensional self. Okay. And what that will do is that will make you very aware of how much you're not bringing. That will make you very aware of what you know and you're not bringing. So that's what I'm in at the moment. What I know isn't what I bring. There's a huge chasm between what I know and the work I do with my peers and what you see online. So it's almost like, last year I really started seeing something that I used the words timeline collapsing for. And so this was kind of old timelines in this reality collapsing and kind of downloading the best and the worst. And then if you remember, I was speaking a lot about discernment and the divergence and which bits are you going to choose. And then I moved into what are you committing to? So are we committing to the very best of what we're now downloading? Sensory perception is increasing, like vastly. Our sensory perception is increasing. Synchronicity, said in the first video, is now bigger. What I'm noticing synchronously is bigger. Kind of bear with me. This is quite new for me to bring this side of myself. So I'm very aware that I'm filtering through layers and I'm just happily staying in the pauses. So I'll get better as I grow my confidence. So the synchronicities of when we suspend what we already know, we see much more. I literally had this conversation in between video number 1 of Cancer New Moon, Temperance, what have I called it? Temperance and the Mystic. This is part 2, the Mystic. In between that gap, I literally had this conversation about something that a client spoke about last week that's now turned up in their world. And the same thing happened to me last week, but it's bigger. So we're not I'm seeing that we're not reading together 2 or 3 synchronous events. These 2 or 3 synchronous events create a something which then interdimensionally spiral. This is how I'm seeing it, so I can't bring it. It spirals up like this fractal and connects into everything, but it isn't everything. I wonder if I'll even upload this video because it's just going to get more and more confusing. I'm creating the confusion because I'm trying to filter. So that's the stage that I'm at with my expansion at the moment. Okay. So containment and compartmentalization of dimensions seems to be bleeding into each other. This is the return to the one. I watched Doctor Strange the other day, and one sentence in it really landed with me. And it's portrayed in its dark expression, but I heard it in its light expression. And it was that scene with Caecilius and Dormammu, when he was justifying Dormammu's existence, and he was saying the many becoming the few, becoming the one. And that is what I'm seeing. That is what I'm seeing, is the illusion of separation is now collapsing. And I'm noticing increasing telepathy in my circle, increasing telepathy. One thinks it and the other does it. I've noticed increasing synchronicity, faster, bigger. And so that physical and non-physical reality are kind of boom, like a boom, one collapsing. It's like worlds collapsing into one another, and everything that we thought was different is the same, and it's all coming into alignment. It's just amazing. And I'm sorry that I can see it better than I can speak it. This is where the subconscious mind is no good to me at all, because everything I knew is now no longer valid. I can see it. So what I'm seeing and what's coming in literally is symbols and sounds. I have no language to describe what I'm seeing, but I can see it, and I can hear the sound coming from it. And I'm in my discernment, in my temperance, I have to temper my subconscious, which now wants to come in and map onto something that I don't know. So I've got to stay in the I don't know. What is this? I don't know. I can vaguely describe what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, but it's not from around these parts. It's not from around these parts. So synchronicity is also joining hands with manifestation. For instance, the other day I noticed, so one of my expressions is quite shamanic. See my little rattle there. So I work a lot with nature. And nature lies at the heart of shamanism, and it's about balance. Actually, it's about eco-balance between me and nature, and how do I balance that, and how do I balance all of my energies, and how do I balance my thoughts and feelings. And it struck me that in all my interactions with nature, I've never collected a crow's feather. And I just noticed that. I don't have in my collection of many feathers a crow's feather. So yesterday morning, bright and early, like 7 a.m, I went for a walk and I saw it a mile away, sticking up out of the grass. How beautiful is that? And look how square it is at the end. I'm not sure I've ever even had, and there's tons of crows and ravens around here. And for some reason, I put this crow's feather with an equally beautiful feather, bird of which I don't know, forgive me, might be a dove. This ivory feather, which I've had for ages, which I just think is beautiful. I love the energy of it, the colour of it. And I put these two feathers together and thought how beautiful they look. I kid you not, my card for this morning is the ivory crow. And I don't know, and I'm staying in the I don't know. Let's put both of those concepts together, the ivory and the crow feather. And it's literally given me a card called the ivory crow. Okay. So the crow to me, in this world, means intelligence, ingenuity, lessons. Because I always learn something when I study a crow, and I love studying crows. They're blooming fascinating creatures. And so that's kind of speaking into how are you going to use your ingenuity to deal with this new energy that's coming in, because it can't come from limited thinking. Ingenuity will help it to blossom here. Okay, so lots of new reality coming in, but it's already in. It feels like it's already in. It's not already in. It's coming in. It's coming in. Let's stay with it's coming in. Okay. And has anybody noticed time just being wibbly wobbly? Like, what is time doing? I have some client sessions that go, all client sessions are an hour minimum, but they're over in like 40 minutes, in what my psyche knows to be the length of 40 minutes. Gone. So yeah, time is not. Time is not, okay? Yeah, there's like a merging of worlds, and it's like all layers and densities are coming together, collapsing. So the light is coming straight through. The light is coming straight into the container, and it's from beyond here. I'm going to share a story with you, which Marla want me to share. So while I sleep, I do an awful lot of work. I have clients telling me that I've run workshops for them. I have clients telling me they woke up with the sound of my voice. They've received messages. I've done facilitative work with fellow facilitators in groups. We literally run workshops. And that's cool. I think I've done that most of my life. And so what happens is, as I'm dropping into the dopey brain state, dropping off to sleep, and energy will come in and I will work with it. And the other night this happened, it's nothing new. And this energy came in, and it was a young man. And he'd gotten into a fight about technology. I think it was about sharing his iPad or sharing his iPhone or something like that. Very, very 3D, mundane, 4D, mundane. And I invited him outside and I said, walk with me a while. So, I went to his home and I said, let's go upstairs. So we went upstairs. I said, now look out the window and tell me the difference between looking out of the window on the ground floor and looking out of the window on the first floor. And he did this. I went, okay, let's go up onto the roof. So we went and sat on the roof. Now tell me the difference between your viewpoint from here. And so he did that. And then we leapt, because you can in dream state. We leapt from the roof into a tree, a big tree. We sat on top of this tree, kept repeating the process. And then we leapt up onto a cloud. Now tell me what you could see. So his consciousness moved from the personal through into kind of his neighborhood through that first level. And then the street from the tree. And then up on the cloud, he could kind of see the village or the town where he lived. And then we just kept going up and up and up, and until we were up above the solar system, looking at the spinning arms of our Milky Way. I said, now tell me what you see. And he was without words. I said, show me where Earth is. And he said, I can't. I said, now how important is your iPhone to you? And it was a beautiful piece of work, because he got it on every level. He got it. And actually there was no resistance in him. So he was clearly ready to work. And so what this was saying was, this is a much bigger picture. See the bigger picture. And after I'll call it client work, even though it's in dream state, after the client work had ended, I was invited to keep going up the fractal. And where I went wasn't anywhere known. And yeah, I didn't sleep that night. The energy was just big. So I didn't sleep. But yada yada. So from the personal all the way out. Yeah, all the way out and back again, tells me that wherever there were previously perceived limits, boundaries, containers, thresholds, there was nothing between me and something greater, much, much greater. Expansive, not greater, it's egoic, more expansive, much more expansive. It's, and I've used this sentence today, the eyes can only see what the mind is willing to conceive of. And I asked this question, and it's rhetorical, don't need an answer. And it was, if, we're hearing these beautiful stories, and I'm going to speak hypothetically because I don't know if this is a true story, but let's imagine dolphins appearing in the Hudson. Okay. So if that were true, my question might be, have dolphins always been in the Hudson? But my limited thinking has prevented me from seeing it. Because the brain can delete. The brain deletes all the time. Deletes, generalizes, distorts. That's what it does to minimize a huge field of information. But what can we see now? I'm working with clients who are going, oh, and I noticed that, and I noticed that. I've never seen those before, and I did this, I've never seen. So all the time we're expanding. Our awareness is expanding and being so beautifully guided by this new energy that's coming in, that's coming through. It's not coming from here. It's nothing to do, because I checked, is this to do with this astrology? No, it is nothing to do with this astrology. This is coming through into this system. So when I say the help that's arriving is, insert words here, I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. Okay, am I making any sense? And it's okay. Do you know what? I'm really comfortable. If this makes no sense, I'm really comfortable with that, because I drew some cards out and I sat and went into a meditation before I did this second video. And before I did the meditation, I pulled some cards out. And after the meditation, I looked at the cards and it's just like, oh my God, they feel medieval now. I'm guided to bring them. I'm guided to bring them, so I'm still going to bring them. But why I'm comfortable with being a screaming wreck, a non-cohesive, vague mess, is because the first card out was, and when I read this card, the words that my lot gave me were relax and play. Just relax and play. So I'm relaxing and I'm playing with an aspect of me that I have previously kind of kept hidden. It's a deeper level of my shy mystic. So here she comes to you today, 21st of July. Don't get hung up on, well, you can if you want, but I wouldn't get hung up on the word protection. Protection kind of implies you're under attack, and no one's under attack. We're growing. Stay true and be in your power. But what does that really mean? Some of the people I've been following for more than a year on YouTube have so birthed themselves. They used to be brilliant astrologers, and then they kind of became astrologers and channels, and now they're astrologers and channels who are reading the system so eloquently, as they bring more and more and more. And my question to the collective is, if you are publishing on any kind of social media, you're bringing it all. Because I'm not. And I can own that. And the time is becoming right. So I trust the timing, but just have a look into that. Have a look into that. Stay true, be in your power. And that's not some positive mental attitude bumper sticker. That's be in your power. And bring it. And when you bring it, you might disappoint somebody. Okay. Divine perception goes all the way out. There's nothing blocking it. But at the moment, we're working through any resistance and blocking. I hit a wall of resistance yesterday that I had to do some work around, just to allow the light to penetrate all the layers. Divine creation. It's happening. Flower of light. It's happening. It's coming in. It's lifting us up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, bugger it. I've just screened that card because it's like, no, I don't want to admit to that. Cool. It's cool. Let me phrase this as a question. For those of you that have been walking your path and working with Source at different layers of density, have any of you been given different names? I've been given a ton of names in my 25-year journey. I've never used one publicly. Okay. But names are made from sound, and sound has a different vibration. So all that's happening is you're downloading a different vibration contained in sound. Okay. Divine names. You might see one or two of mine come out to play. Might. If we say instead, endless emanations of the divine, endless emanations of you in all time and space, in all layers of density, endless emanations. How far do you want to go with this? Pause. Yeah. One of the changes in perception is, let me just have a slope. One of the changes in perception is the distance between densities. So what we perceive as 3D, 4D reality as matter and time, up the densities that we know as 5D, 6D, whatever. You'll notice I very rarely use those labels. I think they can become quite egoic. So layers of density. And it's like, okay, so I'm seeing a staircase, and it's like the stairs that were once that big are like that big, and it's just a hop now. Go all the way up, come all the way down, really, really efficiently, depending on the layers that need working through. Your layers of resistance to greatness, let's say that, resistance to expansion. And don't worry, that's hardwired in us. It's hardwired in us, and we're breaking that down so we can be more gorgeous. Okay, so I pulled a couple of crystal mandala cards. I'll put the links to these two decks in the blurb. And this one is so this one is rhodonite. And if anybody works with crystals, I had a chat with a couple of my peers the other day, and I told them about one of the crystals I use has changed remarkably. And she said, yeah, it has. All the crystals are being upgraded at the moment. Of course they are. Of course they are. They are literally vibration matter. So play with your crystals and see if they play with you in a new way. And I'm sharing this with you because she specifically named her rhodonite has been upgraded. Because as below, so above. you know? If we're expanding and improving and shining, holding more photons, shining brighter down here, then that's going to go all the way up. And it's going to go all the way back down. And it's going to go out. Okay. So empowered service, to me, is about, am I bringing all of myself? And what am I doing with the bits I'm not bringing? Am I repeating the past and putting those in the container called shame, embarrassment, whatever the word is for that movement, nervousness? Am I doing that? Or am I really making an effort to kind of break down those resistance barriers and bringing a more empowered me to be in service? Okay. Empowered is being able to harness all of this new weirdness that's coming in, and to play with it and to practice with it and to work with the energies. And sacred practice, it's sacred practice. And playful, because it doesn't need to be serious. Yeah, okay. Sacred play. I don't have any polychrome, just it's pretty look. I get Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat with this. Here. Yeah, I'm being shown that there is still a gap between how I dress. Do I dress as the person I am, or do I dress as the person I want to be seen as? There's still a gap there. Because there's a part of me that would love a coat like that. Different colours. That would love a coat like that. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. So as these new codings come in, they are going to alter the physical being. And they could literally cause sickness. I'm just coming out of a week of just feeling unwell, bleh, you know, and I'm starting to feel really vibrant and shiny again. So it's just, as light comes in, it has to break through the container, and it has to lift up some shadow. And you know, the last bastion of freedom is the physical. So if we're releasing through the emotional and the psychological, the last place it comes out is the physical. The last thing we do is cry. You know, we identify the emotion and we move it through the body, and then the tears help it to come out. It's the physical. Sometimes if we do a really big emotional healing, we can literally get something that looks like a cold. So I've had something that looks like flu, like a 48-hour flu, and I just gave in. I just gave in and called in healing, and then I just was put in this beautiful bubble of healing, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So yeah, look out for colds. I'm hearing a lot. Well, I've been literally getting requests. Chris, can you recommend a sports therapist or a masseuse? So people's backs locking up. Somebody close to me having to go to the chiropractor who could not free up what had happened in their back. So aches and pains, fake flu, fake colds, cold sores, runny nose, headaches, lots of headaches as well, brain stem. So it's just like penetrating the container. That's all it is. And don't let me guide you away ever from going to the doctors. If you think it's something real and serious, go to the doctors. What else? Connection, inner voice. That's one for another day. The inner voice is going to become stronger, which means the outer voice is going to become stronger. That's about 2021. That's interesting. Okay, so I thank you for staying with me and holding me in this some kind of insanity. I know this is quite different. It was always going to be different. I'm scratching the surface of what I have the potential to bring, and I don't know if I ever will. But here today, I wanna. So I did. I love you guys. Welcome to Nick and welcome to Lisa, my most recent 2 new subs. Love you. Thanks for hitting that button. And I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to go and now wash the pots because I haven't washed the pots since yesterday. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. See you soon. Take care. Bye.